Do we have any Harry Potter fans out there? Right? So papercraft and ingenuity play a big part with the MinaLima design team.
Yes, absolutely. MinaLima is the award-winning graphic novel design studio founded by Mira, Mina, and Eduardo Lima, best known for establishing the graphic style of the Harry Potter film series. And now they are designers for the Harry Potter illustrated editions.
So these are like the Harry Potter books like you've never seen them before. It has J.K. Rowling's complete and unabridged text, and it's accompanied by full color illustrations on almost every single page. And in addition to that, they have these 8 fabulous, exclusive, interactive, and really fun papercraft elements.
Prepare to be dazzled. Readers can open Harry's Hogwarts letter, reveal the magical entryway to Diagon Alley, make a scrumptious feast appear in the Great Hall of Hogwarts, and so much more.
And here to lead this discussion about these special editions is executive editor Emily Clement. Emily, I am so excited to hear from Eduardo and Mira.
Thank you so much, Lizette and Michael. I'm so excited that we will be speaking to the designers, the illustrators, the creators of these editions, the founders of the award-winning studio MinaLima, Miraphora Mina and Eduardo Lima. They are the team behind the visual design of graphic elements in the Harry Potter and Fantastic Beasts films, and since founding their London-based studio in 2009, they continue to be involved in the Wizarding World franchise through numerous creative partnerships, from publishing to theme park design. Beyond their studio, MinaLima now boasts 2 immersive galleries in London and Osaka, and stores showcasing their entire treasury of graphic works as art prints, books, stationery, and accessories across the globe. There's even a MinaLima shop inside the Harry Potter store in New York City. The MinaLima edition of Chamber of Secrets is hitting shelves on October 26th of this year, and we are going to give our viewers a sneak peek. I'm so excited they are both with me today to talk about books and Harry Potter. Mira and Eduardo, welcome.
Hi.
Hello. Hi,
so
Emily.
Great to have all been able to apparate to this little moment for all our fantastic audience, which is just as big as part of our work as the work itself.
I think internet is magic, isn't it?
Don't go there. Don't start thinking about it.
Well, Mira and Eduardo, we know you are experts in Harry Potter. We are joined at home by thousands of passionate fans, and we'd like to create a platform for them to get to know you and your books better. We're calling it 9 3/4 questions. Are you ready?
Yes.
Let's get right into it. You established the visual style of the graphic elements of the Harry Potter and Fantastic Beasts films. Harry's Hogwarts letter, the Daily Prophet, all the posters and books we see in the films. How is it different building a world within the pages of a book versus on screen?
Oh, good question. Well, of course, when we're designing for a book, we have to know that our reader can take as much time as they want with every single detail. And that's a very big difference to what we're creating for screen, which might come very quickly and disappear very quickly. So we're always trying to put as much detail into every single moment as possible in the book. And of course, we're restricted to a very small space as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a double challenge. And then the third challenge really is that it shouldn't really look like the films, because this is a whole new interpretation. The books are quite separate from the films, and we're trying to do our best to reimagine how that might be on the page.
We even showed Stuart Craig, the production designer of all the Harry Potter films, our Hogwarts, and he was happy. No?
Yeah.
Speaking of the illustrations, they sometimes literally pop off the page. How did you choose which moments would become the interactive elements in your editions? Was it about highlighting key plot points? Did it start with the format maybe of the interactive elements, or some combination of the two?
I think it was a combination of two. I think we wanted to punctuate the books with amazing moments, and the moments where those inserts on the first book, we had to do, of course, the letter. In the second book, we have a few surprises there as well. So I think it's a combination of both to kind of make even more special the journey that we are going to.
And of course, we're sort of obsessed with paper and how paper can deliver a kind of physical experience to the reader. And so it's always really challenging and exciting to think how we could be playful. I mean, playing is quite important, and the sense of humor is important in the book. So we try and bring that into the pieces that we choose to make as pop-ups.
Do you have a favorite of the ones in the first book?
The letter,
in the first book.
The letter for me was because again, no, everything started with the letter. No, if there was not letter, we wouldn't be here talking about this book. So the letter is very special. No?
It is, and again, we had to rethink how it might be a little bit different from what we've all come to know from the films.
But I love on the second book, the Polyjuice one. You will see, guys, where you can play with the faces, and there are lots of funny moments with the inserts.
I love that sense of play that you talk about. But that's so important as part of reading these books. That reading experience really is play. Beyond the 3D elements are hundreds of illustrations. Did you find the characters or settings more difficult to illustrate?
Oh,
I think characters.
Probably the characters, because again, people have in their mind what they should look like, and it's actually much harder to get personality and individuality and an animation, because after all, when you're looking at a character, you want it to kind of react. So you're trying to capture a moment on the page that tells the story best in that moment. Of course, the settings bring their own difficulties, but actually we love 3D design. So I think that's a moment where we can really kind of explore this fantasy world that J.K. Rowling has created. So
and to kind of create the Weasley's family, for example, was fantastic, because they are an incredible family. So but I think characters were always more challenging.
Yep. As you say, everyone has a thought in their mind of what those characters look like. So tough expectations, right? Let's get into some specifics. Speaking of characters, what was your favorite character or setting to illustrate?
Oh, I think I just said mine on the Weasley family.
The Weasley family. Also because they have such a collective identity, so it's in a way it's easier to bring those to life, I think, than individuals. And I think for settings,
there's several, nearly all of them.
I mean, in the new in Chamber of Secrets, I don't know, because again, the Burrows is just again full of sense of humor and color and life, and we want people to spend time in there and find things and discover things. But probably things like the library, because then we're always trying to sort of think about interesting ways that often what we do is like, how would we be if we went into that place for the first time? What would be curious to us? Because when you've got your eyes open and you're trying to look at details, we want to give the reader the same details that we would be curious about ourselves.
I mean, that question is very difficult to ask us, because it's like when people ask us what are our favorite props we designed for the films, and we cannot say anymore which favorite, because we love all of them. And the same with the settings. There is Diagon Alley, there is Hogwarts. So
the greenhouse.
The greenhouse.
Oh yeah. Okay, stop.
Potions.
I was going to say, I'm going to start naming. We're going to start naming every illustration.
So it's going to be like every single page, as you said.
It's a good problem to have.
Yes.
Which
is your favorite?
I mean, no, I will say the library is what came to mind for me first. And again, I do love the library. I think it's just such stunning architecture, and perhaps as a book person as well. It's like I want to get lost in that library. It's such every corner is full of some surprise.
Something, yeah.
I love it. But the Burrow is also a favorite, and there's so many great ways to explore it in this book.
No spoilers.
I know. Stop. Which scene or setting was the most challenging to create?
Sometimes the things that we love the most are also the things that are most challenging, actually. And I think definitely...
Again, go back to Hogwarts as well.
Yeah, because you think in a sketch that you may have understood the space, but then when you go into the nitty-gritty, like you were saying, Emily, that there's all the details of every corner, how much do you need to show the reader? And we always want to give as much as possible, but of course we have a limited space, and and it's still a fantasy. So you need to hold a little bit for the reader to imagine. So I think that's often the case, is the things that are most challenging are also the ones that end up being our most favorite.
Because when you start reading about the description of Hogwarts, it's so complicated that if you try to put everything together, the towers, the Gryffindor Tower, the Slytherin...
I think the Slytherin common room was also quite difficult to do, because you're kind of underground, but then you're not, and then there's like, you need a bit of darkness, but a bit of kind of intrigue. So it's always for us about bringing personality as well as logic into a situation.
And of course, there's that beautiful scene that I think is my favorite scene, even in the films, is when in the first years on the first Harry Potter book, they are crossing the lake.
Yes, that is.
And you see Hogwarts at the end. So that is so emotional and beautiful, that scene.
Yeah, I love the way that you, in the first book, chose to make that a double page spread. It needed that emotional space.
You needed that,
as well as wanting to just enjoy that scene and devote that much space to it. It's such a moment that you really need the space to take it all in. And I think I like what you're saying about there's so many details, and I think that's something in the text as well. There's such particular details, but there's also a lot of creative space. She doesn't describe every last thing, every last detail. There's actually quite a bit of room to play and interpret and create. And so I love seeing how you do that in all of those great larger scale illustrations. Yeah. So let's mix things up a little bit. We'll call it a lightning round. I'm going to give you a choice of 2 things from Harry's world. Tell me which one you prefer and why. Number 1, chocolate frog or Bertie Bott's every flavor beans?
Chocolate frog, because I love chocolate. Even if they jump in front of me, I will grab it. I will go everywhere to grab it, the frogs.
So number 2, Snape or McGonagall?
Oh, well, McGonagall, because of course I had to be a little bit of McGonagall when I first created her letter to Harry. And so that's quite sort of, I feel like I can channel the McGonagall a little bit through the ink pen. Oh wait, have we got an ink pen? Yeah, through the ink pen and the green ink and the personality.
And I always feel there's a lot of cats in your work, or in the books, highlighted everywhere. So that makes sense as well. Yes. Number 3, Peeves or Mr. Filch?
Mr. Filch. Some order needs to happen in Hogwarts, and I quite like that he's quite scary, but at the same time he's quite...
You like the dark characters.
I like the dark characters, but I think he's misunderstood. I think Filch might be a quite nice guy behind all those strange layers, and I'm sure he's a very good person.
Very sympathetic from a certain point of view. Yeah. And last, traveling by Flu Network or Portkey?
I think Portkey, just because you'd have so much fun actually with the objects themselves. And sometimes when we're walking around, we do actually fantasize that it's, when you can't be bothered to do the commute home, you're like, that sketchbook over there, I'm sure it's a Portkey.
I love that. I love the idea of, that magic item just on your desk waiting for you when you need to.
Yeah.
Right. Zip home. Love it. Well, that was question 9. I'm sure everyone has been wondering exactly how we would fit in the 3/4. And since the 3/4 in platform 9 3/4 is basically a brick wall, I wanted to ask, as you created these books, did you hit a brick wall at any point? And if so, what sort of magic got you through?
Definitely.
Oh, always. No, we have those moments that you look at the screen, the white screen or the white page. But what is the spell, Mina?
Oh, I think the mantra is to remember that you've been there before and you somehow kind of found a way out. And of course, looking at reference to distract you or to inspire you in equal measure is a good key to get out of those situations, and something it will be unlocked, and then it's sharing with other people and our fantastic team who work with us. So first of all, we share here, and then when we work with the bigger team, that basically unpicks the brick wall, down the brick wall.
Yes.
I love that, and I also feel like that's sort of everything in Harry Potter about, you know, working with your friends and relying on each other, and that's certainly,
yes,
yeah, very true with these books. Yeah,
never be shy to sort of share an idea with other people, because it's always going to help.
And here at MinaLima, everyone is like a Harry Potter geek to the top max. There's not one person that doesn't like. So when we have those moments, it doesn't become a big thing, because there's so much love and for Harry Potter here that the solution comes quicker.
Well, I'm so glad that the magic did happen, and we have this gorgeous edition of Sorcerer's Stone. Now I have a bonus question for you of something that plays a huge part in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Harry's birthday. When is it?
Today. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Harry.
Did anyone bring a cake?
Yeah, where's the cake?
It's coming in a minute, the cake.
Yeah, cake's off screen, exactly. Mira and Eduardo, thank you so much for joining us today. Learn more about the MinaLima editions of the Harry Potter series at harrypotterbooks.scholastic.com or at minalima.com. Have a magical day, everyone.
Thanks for inviting us, Emily.
Thank you, Emily.